Since 2000, the Black Stars of Ghana, they lost a game at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. So for 24 years, we had gone unbeaten at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium until yesterday. Angola made sure that they broke that streak. I mean, if you watched the game, you'd realize that you can't blame the players too much for yesterday's results. You can't blame them for the outcome of the game. You look at the pitch particularly, even for somebody like me who was watching on TV, I could see that this pitch was extremely bad. It's not worthy of professional football. I'm astounded that CAF, that is the Confederation of African Football, Africa Football's governing body, they approved that stadium, that pitch for a game of that magnitude. For me, it was a no. So you see how the ball bounced, even when they made simple short passes. It was difficult for the players to control the ball. It was extremely difficult, very, very difficult. And like I said, you can't blame the Stars too much for yesterday's loss. I think we ought to do better with regards to our pitches here in the country. Ghana is deserving of a world-class stadium, and I don't see any. If you look at all the stadia that we have across the country, you look at the Accra Sports Stadium, it's in terrible shape. You look at the Cape Coast Stadium, it's in terrible shape. You look at the Tamale Sports Stadium, it's in terrible shape. The Kumasi Sports Stadium, Baba Yara, that is, it's in terrible shape. All our pitches are in terrible states, and it appears we make efforts to better them, and then once it's getting better, we decide to use them for other non-footballing activities like gospel events, music events, concerts, and all of that. And it destroys the pitches. When they mount all these machines on the pitches, it's not meant for that. If you look at our standard, it's not meant for that. You can argue that, yes, people do hold concerts at Wembley and all the world-class pitches across the world. But then you look at the standard of the Accra Sports Stadium, you look at the standard of the Kumasi Sports Stadium, you are not supposed to have events there because already it's not in great shape like that. So why don't we just leave it like that? Use it for just footballing activities rather than have concerts, gospel events, crusades, and conventions on the pitches. I feel like it has contributed majorly to yesterday's defeat was a testament to this assertion. Away from that, still the campaign season. The NPP and NDC, they've been campaigning vigorously. We do also hear that the Convention People's Party have a flag bearer. Kwame Nkrumah's CPP have a flag bearer, and Nana Akosua Kuma is the new CPP flag bearer. That's what we've heard. Hopefully on Monday, on Tuesday, we are going to be having Haja Hamdatu would ask her about the process and everything that went to it. If we are not streaming on Facebook, okay, I guess we are now. We are streaming on Facebook, so make sure you do well to join us at facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Leave a comment. Let me know where you are watching us from this morning. I'll take time to give you some shouts on the show. So let me know where you are watching today's show from. Let me know where you are watching today's show from. So the NPP and NDC, they've been campaigning. We've seen the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He's there. He's been speaking, throwing some jabs at the opposition. So is his running mate, Dr. Matthew Opoko Prempeh, who has been making some very, very interesting comments. We do know that Dr. Bawumia has said that the former president is refusing to debate him because he doesn't have the data. John Mahama doesn't have the data to back some of the claims and allegations he's been making against this government, and so that's the reason for which he has refused vehemently to debate him. These are some of the things that he's been saying. But yesterday, social media went agog. Social media went into delirium when visuals or the visual of the running mate to Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh, he made some assertions that the 24-hour economy is not possible. There's no country that practices the 24-hour economy, and that even God, who created the world, he sleeps. So God sleeps, but that's not what the Holy Scriptures say. So Christians are not happy about that comment, because according to Christians, the Christian world or Christendom, God never slumbers, he doesn't sleep. So that comment has sparked, a lot of controversy. When you go to Twitter, a lot of people were talking about it. So these are some of the issues that have been trending. Galamsey, the fight against Galamsey, there's been comments. Haruna Idriso, who is a former minority leader, has come to say that President Akufo-Addo should step down for failing to address this canker, especially when he put his presidency on the line. Former President John Dramani Mahama is also in the Bono East region. He's been visiting a few places, having rallies. This morning, he will bring the tour of the Bono East region to a close. I do know for a fact that there's going to be a press briefing that should be commencing at around 8 a.m. The former president will be speaking with the local press and the pressmen that followed him to the Bono East region. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of fallout. He's going to be addressing a lot of issues. Some of the jabs that the flag bearer of the NPP has thrown at him, I'm sure he's going to be responding. And so we are there as newsmakers, or as news disseminators. We are there to feed you with that information as and when the former president comes out to have that press briefing, or that press, it's a press briefing. They're going to be asking him questions, and then he'll be answering. And so we'll bring you updates in relation to that. In the interim, though, I'm reminding you once again that we are live on Facebook. If you are not watching, you should. We are live on Facebook at facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Once again, I want to know where you're watching from. So if you're watching on Facebook, just simply tell me where you're watching the show from, and I'll be more than glad to give you some shouts. But good morning to our Nigerian brothers, those of you watching from Abuja, Lasgidi, Warri, and all the other states. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Those of you watching in all the other African countries, Niger, Morocco, Zambia, Mauritania, Madagascar, South Africa, Kenya, Egypt, all these other places. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Now, let's move away from that. Let's get onto the front pages of the various newspapers and see the stories that are trending. I'm going to be starting with the Daily Graphic newspaper. There's a bold picture of the flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. He says, Bawumia will transform economy. This is coming from the NPP. Nana Akosua Kuma, new CPP flag bearer. Stories on page 13. 3 electrochem mining leases need no review. Parliamentary committee recommends. Okay, the people of the Songo area aren't going to be happy about this new development. Well, let's do the Ghanaian Observer. Okay, I think we have some more stories here. Political parties urged to promote peace towards December polls. And finally, I think at the back there is a story about the Black Stars. 2025 AFCON qualifiers. Angola stand Black Stars in Kumasi. And like I earlier told you, it's the very first time that the Black Stars have lost a match in 24 years at the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. The Ghanaian Observer, Parliament clears electrochem. Ama Dukwa floors NDC in Okankwe North wins eligibility petition against her. Senate highlights digital transformation and investment success. Fight against Galamsey. Minister assures Ghanaians. Bawumia outlines bold policy plans to reduce cost of living. Okay, but why can't we have a reduction the cost of living now? Why can't it be now? Why do we have to wait until Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia becomes president before we are going to see a reduction in our cost of living? I feel that it's not fair. It's not fair to the Ghanaian people, especially when you have the solutions now. You're saying that no, the Ghanaian people must continue to suffer until you become president. Then you can implement your policies. It is not fair on us as a people. It is not fair at all. Now let's move away from that. Let's go to the Daily Analyst newspaper. I have a few. There are a few stories here on the front page. GIS land saga, presidency denies involvement, asks IGP to investigate. PNC flag bearer ship Bernard Mona not disqualified. Campaign team rubbishes report. O'Reilly SHS killing, suspect charged with murder, remanded for 2 weeks. Police refutes purported manhunt for Malik Basim Tali. Ghana's National Anti-Corruption Action of Plan independent evaluation commences. And finally, there's a picture of the Electoral Commissioner, Madam Jane Mensah. The story says, election 2024, 39 pick-up forms to contest presidency. So there are 39 people who want to become president of the Republic of Ghana, and so one of them eventually on 7th December is going to be whoever that is going to be. I do not know. The answers rest with, or the answer rests with the Ghanaian people. Right. So these are stories trending on the front page of the Daily Analyst newspaper. There's an interesting story on the back page. Only 16% of babies in Ghana receive hepatitis B vaccine within 24 hours of birth. Wow, interesting. 16% is woefully inadequate, figure. Very, very inadequate. Now let's do some more stories. Let's do the insight. PAG unveils Dr. Kpikpi for 2024, promises to continue on Nkrumah's transformational agenda. PAG, what is the Progressive Alliance for Ghana? Okay, I see. Interesting. Mahama wants electoral commission. Rawlings' cousin, Michael Susudis, reportedly dies of lung failure. May so rest in peace. Yankee go home. Yankee go home. Text protest presence of U.S. Navy ship at Izmir port. Okay, so there you have it for the front page of the Inside newspaper. Visit the InsideNewsOnline.com to read these and more stories, or better, grab a copy at any newspaper stand for just 4 Ghana cedis. Right, out with me here now, the Ghanaian Publisher newspaper. It says MPP replaces Nkoko PC with David Asante. MPP replaces Nkoko PC with David Asante. Koshegu MP triggers defections in NDC. COPEC clears air over 5-year-old audio circulating on social media. Probe GIS land encroachment. This is coming from the presidency. I see a picture of Jujinahin there, who wants to become the member of parliament for the Wutusinga West constituency. NDC hasn't endorsed anyone for GBA president. Eduji Tamaklo is the head of legal for the National Democratic Congress. He is saying this, that the contrary to speculations, the National Democratic Congress aren't endorsing anybody for the GBA, that is the Ghana Bar Association presidency. And so these are stories on the front page of the Ghanaian Publisher. I think I have the Daily Analyst here, but I've already done it. So it appears today we had 2 copies of the Daily Analyst newspaper. Right. So that's all for the headlines. These are some of the issues that have been trending on the front pages of the various newspapers. But away from that, though, let me give you a heads up regarding some topics that we'll be discussing on the newspaper review segment of the show. Suspected Boko Haram militants kill at least 37 in Nigerian attack. Election 2024, 39 pickup forms to contest presidency. We'll be discussing this as well. Step down for failing to deliver on Galamsey promise. Haruna Idrisu to Ekufuado, and Electoral Commission rejects NDC's request for live telecast. Live telecast, not live. live telecast of PVR meeting. And so I think this morning earlier, I saw a post from one of the leading members of the National Democratic Congress, and he was fuming over, you know, the decision of the Electoral Commission to not allow the live telecast of, or the live broadcast of that meeting. His argument is that the EC ought to be transparent, and so you know, in pursuit of transparency, in order to engender confidence in the Electoral Commission of Ghana, then it means that that meeting should have been live, so that Ghanaians would see, would listen, would hear the direct concerns of the National Democratic Congress and what the EC's responses would be in relation to some of the issues that the National Democratic Congress put aboard. But there have been genuine concerns. So, for instance, when you go to the Hohoe constituency, I think around Vili or so, the Vili waterfalls, the people there have a population of around 600, I'm being told. But if you look at the voters register and you look at interesting. You look at the voters register and you look at the number of people that have been captured as people or voters in that enclave. That's around 2,500 and something. That's over that's about 400% more than the people who than the entire population, not even voter population. The entire population of the people in that enclave is around 600 and something. So you have you go into the voters register and you have over 2,500 people registered over there. Like, how possible is that, or how is that possible? So the NDC have been asking questions. They feel like it's the same issue with a lot of voting centers, with a lot of polling centers. That you see that the population there is just a few people, but the number of people who have been captured in the voter register as people who are going to be voting there, so many of them. And so they are raising this concern. I'm sure it will come up in the meeting. They disagree vehemently with the EC's position that we aren't going to have a live telecast of this event. They do not agree with it. I don't know where that goes. Once the EC is adamant, I don't think that it is going to happen. But personally, on a personal level, I think that in the spirit of ensuring transparency and in the pursuit or in the effort to engender confidence in Ghana's electoral body, the Electoral Commission for that matter, then this event should have been carried live. I think it was same with the 2020 election petition, where the NDC felt hard done by with the outcome of the elections, and felt that there were lots of infractions and irregularities, and it wasn't free and fair and transparent, and so they took the issue to court. The Electoral Commission had the opportunity to be in the docket and be cross-examined, but some legal gymnastics here and there. So it actually showed that Madam Jim Mensah from going to be cross-examined, and for me, that does not, you know, place any confidence in the EC. Like, the Ghanaian people wouldn't have any confidence in the EC that, look, there's an EC that is so transparent, everything they do is bare, it's laid bare for us to see. And so for me, that for me was wrong. This one too, if you don't have anything to hide, then why say no? Why say no? Why do you say no? So the NDC are not happy about that, and they've also been accusing some organizations that are supposedly to be speaking to these issues, but they've been loudly silent in that regard. Well, so we shall be discussing this thoroughly later on the newspaper review segment of Good Morning Africa. Kwame Osudanso will be seated with his guests. They'll be discussing the issue. They'll be opening up the issues, and of course the newspaper review, Good Morning Africa in general, is a program that allows for divergent views and opinions. And so once the show is running and you have anything to say, kindly do let us know. Ohema is a bit under the weather. That's why you're not seeing her this morning. I hope she recovers quickly to rejoin us on Monday. But I want to thank you for your time this morning on the newspaper headline segment of the show. Always a pleasure. Yours sincerely, Kokwa ALORMASOR, to bring you this part of Good Morning Africa. Thank you, those of you who watched across the length and breadth of the country, and some of you, a few of you actually also did tune into or did go on our Facebook page to join the Facebook live stream. I'm extremely grateful for your time. Idrisu Abdurrahim, who has been watching us from, thank you so much for your time. We do love the people of Wa. That's one of our largest constituencies. That's where a chunk of our viewers watch us from. Stephen Peng and all of you in Wa, we thank you so much for your time this morning. Mike Simon also has been doing the watching. Senior Sly has been watching us as well. Amisko Spelele from Kaswa has been doing the watching from the Wutu Senga East constituency, and Komensa Pilatu as usual. Komensa Pilatu, as usual, has also been doing the watching. Thank you. My name is Kokwa ALORMASOR. Coming up next, we do have the newspaper review segment with Kwame Usudan. So do not move a muscle. Do stay.